Quail are messy birds, and they can kind of be dumb at times. So this week's an interesting week. I'll have to get up earlier, feed and water the chickens. I don't have enough feed and water, but the water gets messy. And right now, they just got fresh cabbage that I just bought on Friday 2 days ago. That'll last probably a couple weeks from the farmer's market. And these guys tend to get all their shavings in there. Anyway, you guys are making too much noise. I'm trying to do a video here. This week I'll be learning how to do my brother's home dialysis. It's called peritoneal, which I've had some time to think about. And more the loss of just his functioning level. But people have lived on dialysis for years. So it's not a cure, but it'll keep him have a little better quality of life. We decided to do his peritoneal at home instead of doing hemodialysis. That's more taxing on the body. So I'll have training probably 4 days in the office and 1 day at home. I don't know if the training is with other people. Sounds like it's just with me. And Nathan will stay home with a caregiver the other days, but I'll have to leave early. I'm also at the transition where my job that I've had for about 14 years, been with the organization for 15. I have to apply for another job because they're going under a major reorganization. But it's more work, more responsibility. And I've been processing with AI whether or not I should do that or take a lower level position or whatever position they have. I tried to get eggs yesterday, but one of the girls was sitting on the nest. Oh no, I did get it. Yep. And it's too early to get the eggs from them. So tomorrow, because right now it's probably 8 o'clock. They usually lay by noon. So the quail are getting some sun from this side. Hello. There are hens in there. I'm not going to raise any more quail. And I do want to get more chickens, but it's April, so it's warmer. I also want to, those weeds are just growing really fast over there. So I'm probably going to need to cut that down, and I don't know how to scrape that up so that this doesn't turn into a jungle again. This was all brush before and trees, but those weeds are all growing. And I just weed whacked it like a week ago. This is an apple tree. And here's my, I forgot what that root vegetable is, but this will provide shade as we go into summer. These are my blackberries, my raspberries. This is a blueberry, I think. Not sure what's going on with that thing. It's not growing. Here's more blackberries. And these are my blueberries. My blueberries are probably about 5 years old now. Maybe a little older. I saw a lot of like black bees. Are those bumblebees? I filled it with compost yesterday. So we have a lot of flowers coming out. And there's more sunchoke, that's what that is. I'm gonna probably take out, I took out several of them, put them in here to try to grow. My reselling business has slowed down considerably since I stopped taking pictures and posting, but I've been for probably almost 2 months. I've just been trying to prioritize things. With chickens and anything, pets or whatever you got, that part has to go on. Other things you kind of just slack off on. So there's all the cabbage. I bought about a whole box, I think about 20 heads of fresh cabbage. Guy said one box was like 18, another box was 22, and I said, what's the difference? He said, one's fresher than the other. So the outer leaves of these were still, these are the outer leaves, and one head that I kind of crunched up. Yesterday I put a bunch of outer leaves, and by the time I came out around 11 or 12, after helping Nathan do a bunch of stuff, most of the leaves are gone or buried. I also got some cucumbers, and this will all break down really nicely. And then I moved a bunch of the compost into the third compost bin. So usually we fill up these two with just grass from the yard, and the grass is so thick. 1 week and it's grown quite high. It's kind of crazy. I guess because we've had a lot of rain. So my apple trees are growing. Oh, and I've got more water going over there, so I need to go water my plants. I did try to trim the feathers of the birds, because one has been hopping over this fence, not as easily as I am right now, but I feel like I did a lot of stuff yesterday in the sun. Probably shouldn't have. The sun tends to kind of exacerbate some of my central nervous system issues. Anyway, so it's lower in there. I also put a lot of water down. We get morning dew and that kind of stuff, but it was pretty dry underneath. Put the solar panel thingy back on, or the electric fence. I haven't had a ticking noise for a while. It's weird. All right, so usually it gets dumped into those two. I stir it up a bit. I'm gonna have to put straw down for those winter straw bales. And then it goes here, breaks down some more. And you can see in here, it's really broken down. And that's comfrey, which is a great, supposed to be a great source of both feed and fertilizer. But the chickens don't seem to like it. So I turned the water on before I came out here. The water's way down there. And my little seedlings are growing. You can kind of see it. So I'm growing in these two beds. Green beans. Really, I'm just going to do one session of green beans. Everything else will be greens. So Swiss chard I have growing in the front by the carport, and back here is going, I eventually will have, I'll probably transplant a bunch of the Swiss chard. But back here is a bunch of other greens. I think I tried to plant a bunch of basil, and it looks like a bunch of the beans came out of soil. I put this thing on because of raccoons and whatever, squirrels will dig up all my seeds. And it's just higher like this because I used to do it. You can see that plastic in there, and then it became too congested in there and it needed more airspace. So leaving this on was better. So this one's a little bit higher and it's okay, but at the end, plants tend to get a little crimped up. Over those 3 containers over there are all sunchokes. Sunchokes grow pretty quickly here, and I got those sunchokes from an Asian market in North Carolina years ago. When we lived that side. I don't quite remember. This is a grape. I don't know what type of grape tree, but it's a grape vine. I don't know, the birds found this thing. This pole was here when we moved here, and this is sort of my storage of my supplies. There's plastic and then there's a cover over it. If I open the 2 ends, it doesn't get too hot in there. I was going to move the chickens in there about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Decided against it. See that hole? It's probably a squirrel. They bury their food and stuff in there. So these are purple artichokes. You can see one right there. I'm not sure what happened to all of them. I had a lot of them. And I've had a little amount of it. I need to put more compost in there probably. This is a pear tree that's still alive. And I have 3 barrels. I made the mistake of just leaving the barrel in there and thinking I can take it out, but now it's pretty much stuck. I probably should tilt it on the side and try to get it out while the tree is still sort of dormant. So I'm really just watering the seeds out here, and I need to eventually do another grape tree. It looks dead on that side, but this is the leaves from that so-called dead-looking grape. And then I have this thing's actually growing on our side, this plant. I need to cut that, and even this one. Like, what the heck's going on? Goes through the neighbor's fence, comes out here. And this was used for a vine. I was growing a squash, and it looks like something else is growing on there right now. So I need to cut a lot of this stuff. I don't know what this vine is, but it's not a fruit that I want. I don't think so, because it's coming out of the ground over here. I don't know what this plant is. I'll have to Google lens that. And then there's some other vine here, which I'm not sure what that is, but I also need to get our sauce. So that particular tree is growing on my neighbor's side and coming over this way, and I've cut it a number of times, but it's probably silver. We have silver maple on that side, and when those little seedlings fall, if you don't catch it early, they grow between your fence. So I'll need to get the chainsaw, cut all of that down. It's kind of a mess. So I'm caregiving full-time, working full-time remotely, fortunately, having to deal with a job change and having to interview. I haven't interviewed for a job for officially 14 or 15 years, because I've had been with the same company and just moved around, and jobs have been written for me. But this reorg is different. And it was challenging. Oh look, I can see the chickens ate part of this comfrey here, which is totally fine. So the strawberries are only in half of this thing. A lot of flowers, and I put this chicken wire here so that the bees could go through to pollinate the flowers. And the other half had tomatoes 1 or 2 seasons ago, so I cleared all that out to give the strawberries room for the runners to go down that side. And since we went carnivore a year ago, I'm not really growing. I think that Swiss chard from a year ago. But since going carnivore, the vegetables aren't that interesting to me, but they are to the chickens. So I'll keep growing stuff because chickens give us eggs, which work. This was all regular onions, and the chickens like to eat the onions. So I put a screen over the top so they can only eat the tops of the onion heads. There's more comfrey and blackberries. So I thought the blackberries would just stay. Their stalks, or their, whatever you call these things, they tend to just die back. I didn't cover them last year. You can see the flowers are coming up. So that's good. Blackberries are good. I got them on some kind of closeout that Lowe's had. I think I had like 8 plants. Decided to buy all that they had because they were only like $4 for the tree was about, or the bush was probably about 1.5 feet. There's nothing planted in here right now. I think I'm going to use this to transplant something else. I don't know. I probably should move these comfrey because they can take up a lot of space. So I think I have more bags. The comfrey can get bigger than what's right there. And surprisingly, that's already big. This has been chewed down and the roots were buried for the winter. And they've come up quickly. So they can look like this. And it's good to put them under fruit plants because they provide nutrients to the fruit. So I probably will move, I probably should take those and even the ones in that little container and put at least one underneath each fruit plant. I also have blueberries over there. I'm going to see if I have enough time at some point, another 2 weeks or so, to build a wooden frame. I've tried PVC frames. I've tried PVC frames have flown over. I have tried I don't know what other type of frames. Oh, probably wood, but not strong enough because we do get strong winds. So I'm going to try and use some wood frames. But I do want to move the chicken, that whole coop, and that whole frame to the other side so the chickens will chew down that those other weeds down there. I'll just have to change the electric fence to go around to that outside. But I'm not going to do that right now. Today's goal is to today's goal is to get a bunch of stuff done because this week I will not have much time at home because of training. All right, let's look. These are radishes. That's what these are. Radishes grow within 25 days, so that's why these are doing so well. And the rest of the greens, the chickens will eat radish leaves. Not so much radish, which kind of interesting. But I have a bunch of basil plants and some other stuff. Swiss chard is probably my favorite thing to grow. I like eating Swiss chard, but since going carnivore, I did not have that much last year, but it does well for the chickens. So what will happen is I'm going to try and get the Swiss chard to grow in the front of the house or side of the house. And then I'll transplant them. So I'm going to have to water those